So the way most drop tests are done straight up suck. I mean, typically the reviewer will drop the phone from a random height onto whatever random surface they happen to be standing on, and despite their best efforts, they drop the phone at a random angle due to human error. This leads to inconsistent results across the board that never truly tell you just how durable a phone really is and how that phone stacks up to the competition. Well, we're here to finally change all of that with the phone booth style drop test, where with the help of a professional drop test machine, not only do we drop each and every phone from the same exact height down to the centimeter at the same angles, but we also drop them onto the same two surfaces, starting off with tile to reflect your indoor drops and then moving on to concrete to reflect your outdoor drops, together giving you the most accurate and comprehensive drop test on YouTube. In this video, we're going to be drop testing the all-new Galaxy S6 against the iPhone 6 to see which flagship smartphone is the most durable. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so we'll start things off by dropping each phone from 1 meter onto tile. First up is the Galaxy S6 with the backdrop in 3, 2, 1. So despite having Gorilla Glass 4, the glass on the back on the S6 still managed to get cracked with the backdrop, though it is worth noting that most of the damage that you see here isn't going to cut your finger if you run it across it like shattered glass would, but it's still a disappointing result. Moving on, we're doing the same exact backdrop onto tile, but with the iPhone 6 this time in 3, 2, 1. And unlike the Galaxy S6, the iPhone 6 doesn't have a glass back, so as you'd expect, there isn't too much damage, just a few small scratches here and there, but other than that, it actually looks pretty good. Next drop for the Galaxy S6 is the side drop in 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the screen is still working and fully functional. You have some light scratches at the very bottom right of the phone where it made impact, but nothing too serious. And on the back, it does look like the side drop has added to the damage with the cracked spiderwebbing a bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as we move through the test. Next up is the iPhone 6 side drop in 3, 2, 1. After the side drop test, the iPhone screen still works, with the only real damage to the bottom of the phone with some scuffs and scratches, along with a minor dent by the headphone jack. Alright, now for the more interesting drops, where the Galaxy S6 is dropped onto its face in 3, 2, 1. So while the screen itself on the Galaxy S6 still technically works, the glass over top of it is cracked, enough so where using it could cause you to cut your finger. And actually, if you take a closer look at the bottom right where the majority of that damage is, you can see that the display underneath it has actually been blacked out at the very bottom right, so pretty significant damage from that last test. Now it's the iPhone's turn to get dropped on his face in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so the iPhone didn't fare so well in that last drop. While the display still works, the front glass is almost completely shattered, much worse than the Galaxy S6's did, but the screen underneath it still actually works and looks fine, whereas the S6's had some damage, so that's something actually worth noting. Now that we're done dropping the phones onto tile, we're going to take it to the next level and drop them onto concrete, starting off with the Galaxy S6 on its back in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so the back of the Galaxy S6 is now shattered, but as unusual as it may be, that's not the big story here. The real surprise is that the S6 stopped working immediately after impact from the backdrop, and no matter what we did, we just could not get it to come back to life. Okay, let's see if the iPhone 6 fares better with the concrete backdrop in 3, 2, 1. So I think that looked and sounded worse than it actually was. The SIM holder popped out of the iPhone, but it pops right back in no problem. There are, however, some additional scuffs and scratches on the back of the phone, much more than there were after the tile test, but overall it's actually nothing too bad and nothing that you wouldn't really expect. So while the Galaxy S6 already gave out, the show must go on with the side drop in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so we got more damage to the front of the phone with more cracks and spiderwebbing, but on the bottom side of the phone, it actually held up quite nicely with very little additional damage. Time for the same side drop on the iPhone in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so wow, despite chunks of glass literally flying out, the display on the iPhone 6 still works, but at this point there's barely any screen real estate that isn't shattered, with the bulk of the damage coming at the bottom right, which previously actually wasn't too damaged, so that concrete side test really put a beating on the iPhone. Okay, so last drop for the Galaxy S6 before we put it out of its misery with a face drop in 3, 2, 1. So obviously the screen isn't working, and it hasn't been since a few drops ago, but after that last face drop, I had to say that the Galaxy S6's Gorilla Glass 4 holds up pretty well relative to the iPhone 6's glass, with just a little additional damage and spiderwebbing. Alright, time for the last drop in this video with the iPhone face drop in 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 6 still works. The glass is completely shattered even more than in the last drop, but the phone still works and you can still make a call if you absolutely needed to. Pretty crazy. So in the end, with its rear glass cracking early on and the fact that it stopped responding halfway through the test, the Galaxy S6 gets a phone buff durability score of 3.7. The iPhone 6 on the other hand, with chunks of glass literally flying out from the front of the device, but the phone still technically usable, gets a higher phone buff durability score of 5.3. So there you have it. That is it for me in this video. If you liked it and want to be among the first to see more phone buff style content just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the very next episode.